Today, I'm speaking with Roy from Allied Critical Metals. You just went public in April and you're racing towards tungsten production. Where do we start?
Well, let's start with the deposit that makes everything possible. It's a brownfield deposit in the north of Portugal with infrastructure second to none in place, and a government that's motivated in this geopolitical world we all live in to assist us into getting into production as soon as we possibly can.
I have a lot of questions for you about that, Roy, but let's just talk about the race towards production because everybody is talking about tungsten, and there's not many companies that might actually be producing in 2026. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, that's right. We're able to be in production 9 months after financing of our small pilot plant, which we believe we can do in 2026, and that's certainly one of our many goals for this year.
Back to the speed to mission theme. You just listed in April, you don't seem to have any problems with financing either. Is that perhaps because of your background?
I'd like to think that's in part, but it's also, I think, serendipitous with coming to market at the right time, and the race that's on, as you obviously know, to make the West as autonomous as possible in terms of critical metals. So there's lots of assistance, and there's lots of private capital out there that wants to be part of that growing industry.
You just recently announced a 20,000 meter drilling program. How is that going? Can you give us any insight?
Well, it's a big program, and we're just underway in Portugal. There are drills on the property right now. Um, so it has started, but it's going to get geared up in the month of February until we have probably we'll have four drills on the property by the month of March. So it'll last almost like I would think it was going to go right into November now. And of course, it's a very significant drill program for us. And we'll be doing a lot of infill drilling, but also there'll be some new discoveries as well that we hope to achieve in 2026.
Well, as a previous producing mine, have you found anything exciting that you can share with us?
Well, one thing that we've been doing that's different than what was done at the mine site before was that rather than follow the underground veins that were being mined for 80 years, we went to drill the breccia. Historically, if you talk to the miners and they wanted to increase the grade, they said they would go to the breccia. So we went to the breccia, which is basically a fully mineralized breccia, and that's the reason we've had some spectacular results, including what we think are some of the best intercepts ever drilled for tungsten.
Okay, and environmental permitting is done. That was recently announced.
Yeah, absolutely. Our team did a great job, our team on the ground in Portugal. And of course, because it is a brownfield property in an area of Portugal that is traditionally a mining area, we had great social acceptability of our project. And that obviously expedited our environmental permitting, along with, as I mentioned before, a government that's there to help us get into production.
I want to ask you about the government. However, let's talk about your next major milestone. That's the PEA that's forthcoming.
Absolutely. Obviously, our goal is to have that PEA out this coming month, and I think it'll be a nice announcement. Everybody can expect that before PDAC in on March 1st.
Okay, so that's a couple of weeks. That's a
That's
couple of
right.
weeks because we're all counting down, and you'll have to come by our PDAC booth and do an in-person interview with us.
I'd
Um,
love to.
Portugal. Let's talk about
Mm.
Portugal. I noticed in addition to, I think I read an advanced law degree, you went to the London School of Economics. So you can talk about geopolitical matters, and tungsten is definitely at the heart of the critical minerals battlefield. You're in Portugal. Where should we start? Perhaps Portugal. What are the benefits about being in Portugal presently?
Well, Portugal is a NATO country. It's a EU country. It's a first world country with first world infrastructure. It is, and as a result, our mine site is a 1 hour drive on the 3 lane paved highway to the port of Porto, which is the most westerly deepwater port in Europe. So, whereas a lot of these other projects that are racing with us to get into production in tungsten have to build out their infrastructure. We have uh, world class infrastructure already constructed for us, and we're maybe a 5 minute drive from the largest hydroelectric dam in Portugal, and it's really unique to have a situation like we have in Portugal, so well located.
And of course, the Portugal government is working alongside you, I understand.
Sure. Now, look, Portugal, like every other NATO country, has this 5% GDP spend, which they're committed to. Portugal really doesn't have a domestic defense industry. So, one way they see it, to contribute to this is leveraging the traditional tungsten industry in the country, in which we want to be a major part of.
So, any deals, offtake agreements that you can talk about? Department of Defense talking to you? Is there anything you can comment on that matter?
Sure. Listen, we've already announced that we've been talking to IDD Defense Portugal, and we've been uh, named a project of national interest. Our expectations is that we should have some sort of announcement about our close workings that we're doing now with the Portuguese government, the Department of Defense, as well as the the development bank in Portugal. As well, we're talking to a lot of private off takers as well, both in Europe and in the United States.
How do you plan on handling the processing?
So what we'll be making is a 65% concentrate, and our mineralization is principally wolframite, so it actually is pretty straightforward to make into a concentrate. Obviously, they've been doing it successfully at Borralha since 1904. And given the advances in technology over the last 100 years, if they were able to do it successfully back then, we're confident in our studies and metallurgy, et cetera, have shown that we should be able to do that quite successfully as well. We'll be selling that 65% concentrate to smelters, either in Europe or in the United States. So our portion of the processing of the rock to actually a tungsten powder, it should be pretty straightforward.
We just recently did a critical minerals masterclass and we on tungsten. And I didn't realize it was so fragile. Is that can you comment on that?
It's funny because in its pure form, obviously, it is a kind of a flaky metal, but usually it's mixed with something like carbide and it becomes a tungsten carbide. And as a result, those combined qualities make it, the hardest substance after diamonds available. And that's why it's just so valuable, not only for ballistics and armaments, but also for drills and cutting in industry. So it's a unique metal.
And the lifeline for this mine, once you start production, will be about what?
Well, right now it's about a 20-year life, but we believe that there is a lot more mineralization than we have captured in our MRE, and we will be expanding it. And so our expectation is eventually we will be able to increase significantly both the throughput and the mine life at Borrelia.
Well, that's part of the reason I was asking the question. Was your plans for M&A with your background? To me, this would be part of your nature.
Well, listen, our primary job as management is to is to maximize shareholder value. And sometimes in an industry like this, certainly scale is important. So we're always talking to other companies and other potential investors who might have interest in this type of thing. And it's not just even necessarily other tungsten companies. There are companies out there with diverse portfolios of minerals, and if they want to add this to their portfolio, we think it would be a great addition.
What else should shareholders be looking forward to in this next quarter?
Well, I think they should stay tuned for our drilling program. I think we should have a lot of exciting news coming out of the drilling program. As well, as I had mentioned, we're moving towards production, so hopefully we'll have some announcements around financing of the plants as well. And of course, it all starts, I think, with the type of news that you were alluding to earlier from governments demonstrating that we're working with them to put this into production as soon as we can.
For those of you interested in finding out more about allied critical metals, please go to the following website. Thank you, Roy, for joining us today.
Thank you.